Hi everyone, hope you're all well. On this workshop I thought what we would do today is do a little bit about bodies. So I'm going to do some basic bodies first off. It might take a couple of workshops to go through all of them because there's so many that you can do, but I think that we'll start off with more upper body type bodies and basic ones just to see how we go, and then we'll crack on with some other ones. So the first thing that I do when I'm drawing the bodies is I work with the arm. So I'm just going to show you a couple of ways just by doing an arm how you can get your girl to look different ways. So if we do like a straight on one, so straight underneath her chin, now you can have it that her arm is coming up over her chin, but we'll start here just by doing a little downward C, and that gives you the ability to now do an arm that would go straight down. So if we just draw a straight line down, so this would be the basic one, and then it just gets smaller at the bottom and maybe just a little peak where the hand ends. And then you've now got the ability to decide on what direction she's facing. So if you were to now just give her a little neck here that just comes over her arm, you could then give her a front facing tummy. You could have it that it's quite round if you want, or or you could have it that she's got a breast, but we'll do that in a minute. And then if you have her neck coming down here and then just have a little bit thinner coming down here, then that is just a basic one showing you her upper body. And then you could have that coming off the page, or you could extend it that it was a long dress. So that's just having her arm going that way. But if we do the same thing again with this girl up here, and we have it that instead of the arm facing straight down, we bring it at an angle. So if we have it that it's going, say, this way this time, so you can have it that it's facing more down in that sort of direction, just as an example. So it's going behind her back, say, and if you brought a little peek out there, you could have it that she's holding something, say a flower maybe. But then you can then have her either sitting down or having it that it's mostly her back that you see. So if we maybe just now make her neck go down into the arm and have her neck coming down like so, then you can have it that that's mostly her back, and then have it that, say, she's maybe got a little bit of a breast there, and then she's more leaning. So it's quite whimsical. It's not like a real shaped body. But then if you then just maybe give her a little line there, then you've given her a backless dress. And if you put a couple of bows up at the top of her arm and a little line coming down, then you've given her a strap on her dress. So that's two ways, and that's just showing you how by starting off with the arm, you've got a lot more control about what you do. So if we do another one with the arm, and we put it more that it's just sort of at the side of her chin. So if you use the chin as your guide and decide on whether you want her right in the center of her chin or coming over a little bit. So if we just do a little downward C coming this way and bring it down straight to about there, and then decide on having it coming round the corner, so you're giving her an elbow. Now if you just leave it at that, then you can decide on what kind of body you want to give her. So if we have it that her chin is perhaps just coming down there, we can now have it that she's sitting hugging her knees perhaps. So if we just think that we're going to see a lot of her back, so we just bring it out at an angle. And maybe bring it just round the corner a little bit. I mean, you can really play with that arch on her back and make it that she's more stooped forward. But this is just like a rough sort of guide. So if you imagine that this is her arm coming along, you could have her that she's hugging her knee. So if you just do like a knee shape, like so, and an imaginary line coming down through this arm, then you can give her a leg. And this is her bottom. So then you would just have it tailed off so that you can give her her foot. So you can play around with the shape of her foot and make sure you give her an ankle and things like that. So you just play around with that so that you get that a little bit thinner in there. And maybe give her some tights, say. But there's another way of doing it, just by starting with the arm. And again, you could give her a high dress or a low back dress if you make it a little bit squiggly. And again, what we did earlier with the bow. So that's 3. So starting with the basic one, just this one here, and then one that's a bit more of a bit more shape in it. And of course these are like upper body ones. If this is one where you are coming off the page, you know. And I mean, you can do it that they're a bit more basic than that. If you find that's a bit too complicated, or you're not ready for that. If you wanted to do something a little bit easier, you mean you don't have to go for body shapes all the time, and you put your arm in first. I think if you just always do your arm first, well, I always do the arm first, and just decide which direction you want. If you want an arm going forward or behind her, again, I seem to be going behind her a bit more, that it's going to be coming down her back rather than straight out like before. And if you find the rest a little bit complicated, you can just simply do like a triangle shape. Just a straight line coming down. And there you've got like what looks like it's a dress, and just have her hand come out a little bit smaller at the bottom. And so you can have that it's just short and coming off the page, or you can just extend it and give her a really long dress. And then if you just imagine that her back's a little bit behind her arm, you can't really see it, and just find somewhere where you want the bottom bit to come out. And then bring it off the page if you want. And then you can start playing around with your pencils and your papers and things to decorate the dress. So that's like 4 simple ones at the, well not all simple, because you might find this one a bit more complicated. But if you start off with your triangles and maybe this one here, this one's a really easy one, just coming round and then flatter at the back. And then as you get your confidence up, you can start to do the different ones. And then, you know, let me just get a button. So if you want to do some other simple ones, if you want to, you can use your ruler. So if I just get a ruler, and then decide where you want your shoulders, you can use that as a guide. So if I bring this into the centre. So play around with the sizes of your necks as well, and you can have them all twisted as well if you like. But if you just do a basic neck, just a small one to start off with, like so. And then you just get your ruler and decide where you want your shoulders. You can do like a little line, just keep it light so you can rub it out. Then you know that the shoulders are going to be in line. You don't have to do that, because I mean, I don't always do that. I sometimes just do it to the eye. But if you then just come along that line and then let it come down. You know that her shoulders are pretty much level, and then you can rub away this line, and then let these be her arms. So this is another just basic one where you just mirror what you've done at either side, and it's almost like a square, and have that's her arms. If you find a little bit at the center there, just put in a line, then you can start to see where her arms are going to be, and then let it come down, and then let it go into a little peak at the bottom. Or, you know, you can start putting her hands in pockets and things as you start to get a little bit of confidence. And then, so this is just a nice basic easy one where you can then just extend that and have that just as a straight dress coming off the page. And you can decorate it so that she's either got a neckline that would be up at the top, or you can have the neckline coming down. Just have a play around with different necklines and different places where you would have the arms. You could have the long sleeves or the short sleeves. Or if you rub all that out, get rid of that little line as well. Lost my pencil. Then you can have it that it's like a little strappy dress, so you can just have some little sleeves coming down and have it as a square neck. So just, you know, have a little play around with different bodies and different dresses and things until you get your confidence up. And I like it when you get your coloured pencils out and you start to decorate them and put your little swirls and your words and things inside their bodies and start to give them the kind of things that you feel that they need. So like for me, quite often I imagine the girl as myself and I give myself some love. So I'll put some hearts in there, or some, I don't know, self-compassion, and just maybe write the word self-compassion. But I'm going to show you now how to do the one where they hold the heart. So again, just do a little neck. And if you have a button, just put the button right in the centre. So if you imagine the button is going to be where she's holding her heart, and if you imagine the space between the top of the button and here is going to be her shoulder. So if you just put in a little mark for now, and then draw around the circle, keep it nice and light so you can rub it out if you want to. And then if you now use this shape here to have it that this is her arms coming around holding something. So just try and have it that it's the same either side. And if you bring all the way around, so you're just trying to keep it the same thickness. And then if you just do a little thing like that, a little squiggle, then that ends up being this hand, and then that ends up being that hand. And it looks like they're intertwined, if you can see that. And then you can use this shape here to be what she's holding. So it could be a bird cage or a bird or a heart or whatever. So if you just use the shape of the circle to then create your heart, and then rub out whatever you don't need. So just trying to keep it that it's more at a peak at the bottom, but still fat that it's coming out into her arms. And then just rub away that little circle there at the top, and then you've got her that's just holding her heart. And you can have it that that's just your girl centerpiece without any other body, just that and some words underneath it. Or you could give her the body and just have it that it's a straight lines coming out and coming off the page, and she's got a dress. You've got that sort of choice. And if you wanted it to be like a bird, so rub away the heart shape, say, and then just imagine that this bit here is the bird's head. So if we do that and then put an eye in here and then just give a little beak, and then if you just do a little swirly bit here just to create a bit of a wing like that, then you can rub away the top bit of the circle, and then she's still got this bit here where she's holding. So you could just rub away that little bit in the middle there, so it's not so much like a heart shape anymore. So there, that's giving you a couple of ideas of just having some basic bodies. You can have them sitting down, so if we do this girl here as sitting down as well, and again we'll bring in her arm first, and this time I'm going to have her hand coming down onto her lap. So I'm going to have it coming that it's pretty straight like so, and then imagining that that's her neck and that she's going to have some back. So you play around with this line that you create, because you can get it really arched or you can have it quite close in, and the different arches will give her a different feeling and different mood, make her look maybe cheeky or innocent. So if we bring it down to this point, so we know that this is where her bottom is, and that's where she's going to be sitting, and bring her arm down just slightly so that it's going to be that her elbow is where her lap's going to be, and then just bring in some more neck, and then maybe just give her a little bit of a breast, or you can have it just flat. If you want her to be more childlike, just give it that it's flat, and then just keep bringing this arm down. Once you kind of know where her breast is, and then you're starting to work down towards her lap, you can start to create the little bend there just for her arm to change. And then imagine now that this is her knee coming down, she's sitting on her knees, and so this will be her dress joining to her bottom. And so you can either have it that that's coming all the way over and that you don't really see her knee, or you can have it that you just create another little loop coming out of there and then another one maybe there, and join that together, and then continue this bit around. So this is her leg, and I mean, I don't like drawing feet and things, and I don't tend to do it, so I kind of have their feet curling round so that it's part of their bottom. And so here, I mean, you can then extend this hand now and make it a bit longer so that it looks like her hand is coming down onto her knee, and then you just rub away. Just gradually let your pencil create the lines, and then if you're not happy with them, just rub them out. That's what I do. So there you've got a girl that's sitting on her knees, and she is, you know, you can have her that she's holding a heart, or she's just got her hand on her knee. I like giving them little metaphors and things, so I'm going to put a little ring around her neck and have a little bit of a string coming down, and then at the end of that string I'm going to give her a key, and the key is the answers to all of her questions. We'll do a class on the metaphors and how I use them to tell my stories. So that's the key, and then it's quite nice then that you've got a heart maybe sitting down here that's needing unlocked. or a bird cage that needs unlocked, or something that's going to help you gain whatever's the answer to your question, if it's freedom or if it's love or whatever. And then, you know, I would have a little bit in the centre where the key is going to go in. So that's another body. I mean, you can have them where they're facing mostly to the back, or you can have them that they're lying down. So I'll just do one that's facing mostly to the back. So if we give her her arm again, so hopefully you're seeing that the arm is pretty much the first part. I mean, and you can rub out the arm if you decide, oh no, I want her arm more going backwards or more forwards. Just play around, but just get this little bit in, and then you can see where the neck's going to be. And so when it's backward, then you imagine your shoulders kind of coming down a little bit. And if you play around with these lines, you know, and then you'll see whether they're more crooked or straighter, you know, just have a little go and see how. So I'm going to have it that this is her dress coming all the way down her back. So it's going like so. And because of that, she's got her strap that's going to come over and her arm. So if you just do a line and it comes into where the arm starts, and it looks like it's looping around. And then this arm can be straight, or it can be reaching out to grab something. And then this can be the rest of her dress coming down. And then of course I like giving them little tattoos or hearts, so maybe just give her a little heart on her back, or a symbol, like inner pieces or inner strength are the ones that I like to use a lot. And so then this dress can then come all the way down straight like that, or you can give her that she's a bit more shapely and have her, it's coming in a little bit and then out where her bottom is, and then in where it's coming like, so it would then come in at her waist and then be a little bit slimmer there, and then just rub that. That's probably not the right place for her bottom, it needs to be a bit higher up. But again, you know, just keep rubbing out until you get it to where you want it to be. Maybe you want it to be bigger bottom. And she could be then holding a rose or a flower of some description, and the stems coming down through her hand. Just roughly. So that is giving you hopefully a little start on bodies. You can have a real good play with it, and then, you know, get around to playing around with putting clothes on them. I mean, I've got one where I have her sitting on a swing sometimes. So for putting a girl on a swing, just having a basic triangular body. So again, putting in her arm, putting in this line. I'm going to have it that her arm's coming this way for now, and then just giving her a basic triangular body. But if you have it that it looks like what we did when the girl was sitting down, if you just curl it around like so, and then this is the straight bit where she's sitting. She could be sitting on a chair or have her on a swing or whatever, and she's got her arm coming down and out, and then you're going to have her knee coming down here. So imagine it, in this case it's coming off the page, so you can't really see it. And then just some little squiggles there to let it see that that's the end of her dress. And then just a little bit here where it looks like that's going to be her leg. And you can give her a plaster on her leg or a little hashtag or whatever. So, and then again this hand's coming down onto her knee a little bit, but and so she can be holding maybe a heart. And then of course give her some wings or something, just a couple of little loops coming out, little tiny wings, where you're giving her some freedom. But this is going to be a swing. You then just draw your lines along here and then just have it coming in as a bit of a square. And that's how you can see that she's now sitting on something. So if you want it to be a chair, then you just put your legs of your chair down. If you want it to be a swing, maybe put in some rope that's going to come up past her hair. And then the same at the other side, just have your rope coming. So that's just something else, and then you would decorate all your rope with flowers or whatever, and then decorate her dress and, you know, make her into what it is that you want her to be. So that is basically the start of bodies. You can, you know, you can continue in whatever direction you've got them sitting in. So like in this case, you've got your girl sitting this way. Practice it and have her going the opposite way. So if we just have her here, let me just move this along. So just practice having them going in different directions. So this time her back was going that way, you want it to come this way. So put in her little arm going that direction instead of this one. And then her back coming out, and then see how far out you can get it to come to make it look like she's really stooped over. So a bit like that. And then in this case you can't really see her front, you can just see her arm that's coming more this way. And then you have it coming round. And play around with the thicknesses of your arms, and then you'll get to find what style you like, because you can have them really thin or really fat. And then bring in her knee that she's hugging, and then bring her leg down and give her some feet. So try and have it that whatever direction you draw your first body in, try and mirror it and do it the other way and see how you go on. So if this is the top of her leg, then imagine this is the bottom bit, and then just have it coming down like that. And then have it so that if she's hugging her leg, you just have it that her arm starts to go round a little bit, like round the corner. So try doing that and see how you go on. And then imagine that her dress is maybe a little bit still going along the top of her knee. And then you can play around with putting your flowers on her dress, or so this one I'm going to make it a little bit higher up here. Just put in a line there, and again give her little bow there. If you wanted to give her wings, just have little things coming out there and just rub away the inside, the part of her body that's going inside the wing. and then just decorate them, because we've been doing them on Facebook Lives and things. And it's just, once you've got that sort of basic lines, then you can start rubbing out and refining it and making it different. You might decide you don't want wings, or you prefer the wings to be the ones coming up behind it, like that instead. So there, I think that's given you something to have a little play with. See how you got on. Let me know how you're getting on. Put them in the group. Message me if you're having any problems, if you want me to explain something differently or better. Or now these practice sheets are in the area where you do your workshops, and they're for free. So if you just download them and print them off at home, I would print off quite a few of them so that you can have a real play and practice trying different shapes, different lengths, different, you know, even you've got this one as a straight, but then you might rub that out and try having it that it's more just straight rather than triangular. And there's nothing to stop you as well giving you girls bodies that are maybe animals or just shapes, so that, you know, don't be tied to actually thinking you need a body. You might find that your style of art is a bit more of like the surrealism, where you know, you're using dreamlike visuals to tell a story. So, you know, have a proper play, and let me know how you get on. Hopefully that's given you something to make a start on your bodies. Okay everyone, take care. We'll do a little bit of clothing, or we'll do metaphors maybe. Either clothing or metaphors in the next one. It's probably best if we do clothing, considering we've just done bodies. But yeah, we'll get something together. Take care everybody. Bye bye.